Hello everybody, I'm Carol Dove and I'm Commercial Manager for the Department of Theatre, Film and Television here at the University of York. And I'm also Director of Heslington Studios. And you've probably heard snippets about Heslington Studios today as we've gone through the talks. I'll tell you a little bit about what Heslington Studios is, and then I want to tell you a little bit about the challenges behind it. Really, Heslington Studios is part of the Theatre, Film and Television department. We've got two high-definition broadcast television studios. One of those studios has a state-of-the-art 3D system, which basically is a I want you all to come over and see it, actually, because no matter what you say about the studios, about how we work, it's very difficult to look at a flat picture and imagine what they're like. 2,000 square foot of broadcast television space, a digital cinema, a black box. We've got full audio and post facilities. So we've got I'll go on and talk a little bit later on about the projects that we've been through, but we've got Foley Studio and we've got a 220-seat theatre. So basically, when I came to the university, what I was interested in is how we could really have a commercial opportunity, a research opportunity and an academic opportunity working together. Because so often, I've travelled around in previous projects I worked with about 87 universities, and I had a commercial remit. And I was sort of thinking, how do you come into an environment and not compete with the small businesses that you're actually trying to support? And that was one of my sort of strategy decisions about how we approach this. And so when I moved into the arena, I thought, we've got 320 small creative companies. If I start a production company here, I'm just going to be in direct competition with them. So a lot of thought went into, we have an ERDF remit as part of this site to engage and support businesses. So how do we do that? How do we monetize and bring money in to support development for the future for the department and reinvest in education, but not just become a competitor in the market? So we set up a facilities hire company, and the idea is that we hire out television studios, we hire out kit, but we do that at a really competitive rate, and we add into that mix key elements such as technical support and training. As I said, we work with small businesses, and I think we've talked about these micro companies. A lot of micro companies exist in this area, and a lot of those small companies don't have an aspiration to be a big multinational. They do what they do, and they do what they do really well because they're small and because they work in these really innovative and flexible ways. So we wanted to be able to develop those companies, to offer them opportunities that that they couldn't get normally within this area, but not have a focus on, you've got to grow your business, you've got to be huge. And so we've done things with companies that are really interesting. As I say, I'll run through a few examples. We also do training, and we have a lot of very experienced academics who come from industry. Some of our academics were previously commissioners at Channel 4. They were head of children's at ITV. We've got a real mix. So again, one way we can make money is passing on that knowledge, and we're hoping to announce some stronger partnerships in the training area later in the year. And what we also want to do is I want to add value to the educational environment and take some of that new thought process, new ideas, new creativity, and mix that with the businesses. So we're kind of a catalyst for student work experience. So not every company we work with wants to have a student. Not everybody wants a runner. Not everybody wants a development opportunity. Some of the companies we work with want to be in our studio. They want to close the door, and they're working on a very expensive private pilot project, and we understand that need and we just let them get on with it. Other companies come to us and say, I've got a great idea, I don't really know how I'm going to do this, I want to do some green screen technology, I want to do something, and we say, well, actually we've got 2 PhD students who would be ideal for you to work with on this project. And then we put that opportunity together. We've worked on some very interesting projects, and I've travelled around universities and I've seen people work on small corporates, maybe a little bit of museum work. I wanted to bring something to this arena that was interesting, and one of the first projects we worked on was a series for Al Jazeera, and we were very fortunate that David Hickman, one of our lecturers, has a real interest. He's a fantastic filmmaker, he's a Grecian Award winner. And David went out to Pakistan, India and Haiti, and he shot 3 parts of a series on slavery. He brought that back to the department. We did the offline edit there, and we started a relationship with Al Jazeera. We got some students involved in the online edit, and we eventually post-produced the full 7-part series for Al Jazeera, and that meant working with London and Doha, and it's quite an interesting process for us because it was the first big series that we've worked on. I know all of you who know York probably remember Eternal Law, the ITV series. When I first met the team, I talked about what we could do because we are theatre, film and television. So we've got a BA in writing, directing and performance. And I said to the team, what are you really looking for? And they said, we need a huge amount of extras. So I said, right, okay. And they said, we want a huge amount of young people as well because we've got these nightclub scenes. So I said, right, okay. So they took over the Puri Cust in York, and I took over between 30 and 40 students. And they got first-hand experience of what it's like to be an extra. They got training, they got support. And I was really adamant that they should get something at the end of it because it's like a day like today. What do you take away from it? So they gave them all the contacts for the agencies in the area, how much they should expect to get paid from being an extra. And that's really useful because that kind of adds value. A great idea came out of that for a talent pool, which I'm developing with Andrew and some other people from the university at the moment, but that comes later on. I don't know if any of you heard about Green Screen Productions. There was a big press release out recently. Green Screen Productions are a feature film company who've recently moved to Yorkshire, and they're basically shooting a film at the moment called The Knife That Killed Me. It's based on a book which has been accepted in American schools as a major text, and they've just completed their production in a place called Bubwith, just about 20 miles from here. Some time ago we entered into a partnership with Green Screen because I think it's important to have a real mix. We're a hire company, but there's something about investment and something about having a further reach. So we've now got an umbrella agreement with Green Screen, and we're producing The Knife That Killed Me, but we're also involved in 4 other features that we'll be actively working on the post-production arena at the university. Going back to training, we do training, but we also are a training facility for other people, and we'll be seeing the Press Association working with us over summer. And I suppose looking at what we do in terms of theatre, it's been really hard. I don't know if any of you've seen, we've got a 220-seat theatre with the most fabulous technological audio and lighting systems embedded in it. But it's really hard to get a profit on ticket sales for 220 seats. So we had to start thinking about how can we sort of make some money out of the theatre, how can we bring really interesting people into the theatre, whilst making money, but whilst making those essential linkages for education as well. So we found that rehearsal space is a key to this. I know there are a lot of companies who are providing rehearsal space now because it's really difficult to find the right kind of arena for your rehearsals. And so we've got quite a niche area working. Originally we started production with Lunchbox, and they've now taken their production to Australia and Asia. And we're, I was really pleased about that, but it's another way of breaking into a market and giving actors and backstage people opportunities. And on this page, last but not least, the BBC drama The Syndicate. We worked with a local company to do the post-production sound for this. We've got euphonic suites, we've got a full Pro Tools C24 and D Command systems. So it's something that if you're out there as a small company and you think, actually, we couldn't afford to buy into that, come and see me, because actually you can. And that's what we're here about. We're about enabling. It is about making money. We are effectively a social enterprise, but social enterprises don't mean that you don't make profit. What social enterprises mean is that you invest it back into the company and support the needs of that company moving forward. So, you know, sometimes when we talk about universities and we talk about mixing with industry, it doesn't mean to say we don't make money. We've got to invest in these facilities for the future. Otherwise, we'll just be a white elephant in 5 years' time. So looking forward, industry collaboration is something that we feel is very, very important. We're working at the moment with the Digital Fiction Factory. There's a call out with the Fiction Factory at the moment, and I'm looking for some partners to look at cross-platform opportunities. What they're doing is really interesting, because so often as a small creative company you waste an awful lot of time developing an idea, getting very excited, going along to a pitch, and it's next and you go next. What the Digital Fiction Factory have done is they've taken 3 writers and the 3 stories that they're saying, we think these are really, really brilliant ideas. Come and see us, and it's up to you to wrap around a platform delivery opportunity around these stories. These stories can develop in any way that you would like, and I think that's really interesting, because you actually feel you're not totally wasting your time here, because you've already got something they want, and we've actually got the platforms and opportunities to make those live. So that's something that we're looking for partners to work on at the moment. The Wellcome Trust, I don't know whether you've seen, there's for any budding writers, there's £10,000 up for grabs at the moment for a writer to produce a collaborative work, film work, in relation to a biomedicine or chemistry physics story. And there's a really interesting opportunity, and we've got 2 writers that we're working with at the moment, and fingers crossed, because that's one of our more experimental areas. So I don't know whether any of you are familiar with the EU media programme, originally 2007, but there's a huge pot of funding in that area, and we're looking at a bid at the moment. I'm looking at Stuart there, because we've had shots at that money previously and been very, very, very close. It is a huge, huge application, but it's a very, again, I can't say too much about it, a very exciting project that we're working on. I want to do something with BFI and Creative England. Jim's going to come back and see us later, so that's interesting. And in terms of work experience for the students and kind of work enrichment, we're involved in industry training schemes. We've just had a skill set accreditation visit, and we've got our fingers crossed that we'll get that, so hopefully more work with creative skill set. We've got partnership with the Royal Television Society, and we want to do more in terms of developing our work in film festivals, and I was really interested to hear about that kind of interactive film experience. I think that's something that definitely could be developed, a couple of ideas there. And I also want to develop something called the talent pool here in Yorkshire. We have a number of graduates who are coming to their 3rd year, who are moving out into the industry, and I think we are looking at a lot of people moving into that freelance market, but networking and opportunities are hard to come by, so we're putting some support in to ease that process and to do more liaisons with industry. And of course, we're developing training courses. I think things like the digital workflow process at the moment is really difficult to get our heads around, and new jobs are coming out of the landscape. New managing data on location, moving that through to managing data in post-production. It's huge, and there are a lot of things surrounding that we're just learning and working on. So next year we'll be running some data wrangling courses and other things relating to that. So it's very exciting. There's so much to do. I have a remit with Heslington Studios, but I also have a remit with Theatre, Film and Television itself. Although I don't teach, I do work with the students on a number of creative projects. Those projects, some of them are being taken straight online, and we're looking at commercial models to develop around those. So yeah, it's exciting times, but I think what will make it work here is this place being a hub and a catalyst to develop, and it is about the relationships, because we don't produce, we're just enabling things to happen, and we're making spaces available for people to come and make it happen in. So thank you very much, and keep in contact, that's the message.